Hi, I'm Nick Palmisano.
And I'm Matt Finney.
And this is the Bad News Network. For some time now, veterans have been trying to get a GWOT memorial built on the Mallway in Washington, D.C. The problem? Congress. See, a while ago, a lot of people wanted a lot of different things added to the Mallway, and Congress created a law that basically said you need congressional approval to put anything there. No problem. After all, we don't need to have every Tom, Dick, and Harry with some kind of memorial to something placed on the Mallway. However, maybe, just maybe, we should consider building a memorial for the longest war in United States history. For 20 years, Americans have fought in the global war on terror. They absolutely deserve a place of honor on the Mallway. Currently, it looks like they don't have the votes. This was shocking to me because not in my wildest dreams did I think that this was an item where we couldn't get 90% of Congress to agree on. For some reason, they don't want to be reminded of this war. For some reason, they don't think it deserves to sit alongside the Vietnam War, the Korean War. Well, it does. And so right now, I'm asking very nicely, Congress, please pass the GWOT memorial legislation honoring the men and women that have fought for this country for the last 20 years. I do not want to have to commit hours and hours making fun of you and stirring up a group of people to make your lives a living hell. Thank you for your consideration.
Dog the Bounty Hunter is a name we've not heard in a long time. But it seems he's back in front of the cameras after announcing that he will locate and bring in Gabby Petito's boyfriend and suspected murderer at large, Brian Laundrie. Laundrie disappeared shortly after arriving back to his parents' home in Florida. This was just after he and then girlfriend Gabby were on a drive across country together. She did not return with them, and later police identified her body out in Wyoming. Dog the Bounty Hunter, whose real name is Dwayne Chapman, recently stated that he had found a clue, a recently drank Monster Energy can on a small island in Florida. Dog stated that he believes that Laundrie is hanging out on a remote island and vowed to sniff him out. He also said that he had a hot tip that Laundrie might be traversing the Appalachian Trail, as sources have said that he was familiar with it and was also an avid outdoorsman. It's been a rough start for Dog, with no sign of dirty laundry, but he's made no bones about it. He wants to find the murderer. We're rooting for him to succeed. After all, every dog has his day.
According to reports, Scarlett Johansson and Disney have resolved their dispute after ScarJo sued Disney for breach of contract. The details of the resolution were not disclosed, which makes the report completely useless outside of just telling you they resolved it. Both sides praise the other side, saying they look forward to working together again on projects in the future. No one cares. The public wanted a fat cat bloodbath, not an undisclosed payoff behind closed doors. Come on! I haven't witnessed a letdown like this since 2012's John Carter or any of the Star Wars movies after 1984.
It wasn't that long ago that I remember seeing the deluge of videos showing people standing outside on their stoops and balconies clapping in the evening for healthcare workers. The very men and women who are overworked, likely underpaid, and understaffed, who have pushed through the pandemic, who we as a nation applauded as heroes. Those healthcare workers who were washing their PPE in the washing machine because Americans were buying every mask in sight. Those healthcare workers who were not vaccinated but were taking care of every COVID patient that came through the hospital doors. Yeah, those ones. They're now being fired if they choose not to get the vaccine, which they worked just fine without for so long. They're being labeled terrorists and being called Nazis for asking people to follow basic safety protocols in hospitals. How fickle the mob, when the people they spend a year and a half hoisting with praise are now the subject of their ire. First of all, the healthcare system has already been hanging on by a thread since forever ago. And it doesn't need a bunch of Karens and Garys running around through the hospital threatening nurses and coughing on people right in their faces. Second of all, these people work crazy hours taking care of people in their worst conditions, and those are the people you want to hate? I don't understand any of this. Where's the outrage over censorship, government overreach, or human rights violations? Calm your tits, send a mean tweet, and go back to your lives. Stop harassing healthcare workers who are trying to keep your dumbasses alive.
The Senate Armed Services held a hearing on Tuesday where lawmakers interviewed Generals Milley and McKenzie regarding the botched withdrawal of Afghanistan. President Joe Biden was interviewed in August and said that no one advised him to keep troops in Afghanistan. This statement became the subject of questioning Tuesday, as both generals confirmed that both had advised Biden to leave between 2,500 to 4,500 troops in country. While neither general would openly label Biden's statement that no one advised him as false, both confirmed that they knew he had been advised. The hasty and unorganized withdrawal resulted in the loss of U.S. military personnel and the abandonment of U.S. citizens and Afghan citizens who had helped the U.S. in the war on terror. Were this Trump, effigies of him would be alight in the streets and the newspaper headlines would shout, "Impeachment for treason!" But this is Biden. And as we're seeing more and more, this administration and the lackeys who support it aren't really interested in what's right or what's fair. So don't expect anything to come of this.
It took just 2 days of deliberation for a jury to find singer R. Kelly guilty on 9 counts he was facing. His sentencing will take place May 4th, where he will likely face life imprisonment. In addition to the 8 counts of sex trafficking, Kelly was found guilty of racketeering. 9 women and 2 men testified against R. Kelly. Testimonies told of abusive and controlling acts where R. Kelly would groom underage girls, punish them if they didn't follow his rules, not allow them to eat or go to the bathroom without his permission, and only wear what he said they could wear. Girls were reportedly coerced into his entourage by his security, manager, and aides. In addition to the verdict, he's also slated to stand trial in Chicago on charges of child sex images and obstruction, plus he'll be facing sex abuse charges in Illinois and Minnesota. It's the remix to incarceration, and this dude is set to fry like a weasel. That guy. This week, living boxing legend Manny Pac-Man Pacquiao retired from the sport of boxing. He exits the ring with a record of 62-8-2, claiming world titles in 8 different weight classes, the only boxer in history to accomplish this feat. Manny's storied boxing career has inspired millions all over the globe as he rose from poverty to become one of the highest paid boxers in the sport. In the height of his career, he decided to run for office in his home country of the Philippines, where he won a seat in Congress and later became a senator. He had an explosive and exciting southpaw style and has had a career-long highlight reel. The world will definitely miss Manny Pacquiao in the sport of boxing. Thank you, Manny, for a remarkable career. But before we can be allowed to break from the retirement of Manny Pacquiao, we now report that Senator Pacquiao has this week filed his bid to run for president of the Philippines. This man continues to amaze. Holy shit. Well, good luck in your upcoming bid for president, Manny, and remember, those politicians fight dirty as f***. Best of luck, sir.
And finally, in Florida Man news, in a story fitting for October 1st, Florida residents in Orange County ganged up to beat the crap out of some clown who tried to steal kids and then disappear into the storm drain like some kind of crazy Pennywise the Clown. 25-year-old Kalia Pompey was reportedly seen doing push-ups in a parking lot, according to onlookers. When a couple of kids walked by, this clown approached them and told the kids he wanted to play football with them. The kids ignored him, even as he made balloon animal gestures and pleaded to play. When that didn't work, Pompey grabbed one of the kids and started carrying her like a baby towards a nearby apartment complex. That's when the residents of Orange County decided to add their own plot twist to the timeless movie. According to reports, onlookers stepped in, briefly yelled at Pompey to drop the kid, and then started kicking his clown ass. Pompey ran and started trying to hijack a moving car. He did, for a moment, before crashing into another car a short distance away. All the while, OC people were kicking his ass and pulling him from the vehicle. Pompey again managed to scramble away, jumping on the hood of a car, rolled onto the grass, and began making his escape down the storm drain to his secret evil magic lair. Not today, clown! Those angry-ass Orange County folks who apparently can't hold someone down to save their lives put the punch in Punchinello and prevented him from escaping. Police arrested the kidnapping clown, which probably saved his life. Pompey claimed that he was just trying to help the kids cross the street, and he got jumped for asking people to use their cell phone. He's instead facing charges of kidnapping, attempted kidnapping, and false imprisonment because apparently Florida doesn't care if you hijack someone's car. A word to the PENNYWISE. Pompey, don't touch kids, or you'll all float down here, clown. And in another Florida Man news, we want to give an honorary mention to the gentleman who used a trash can to trap an alligator that had come on his property. The fact that he had clear instructions that he gave to the crowd about when to let him know that the head was inside so he could drop the lid on it which apparently makes gators surge forward, means that this dude has done this before. We salute you, sir. And with that, I'm Nick Palmisano.
And I'm Matt Finney.
And this is the Bad News Network. Our news is at least as bad as the news you're getting already, and as always, you can get 25% off at rangerup.com when you use the code BNN. And of course, visit Matt and I at Nick and Matt OnlyFans. I hope you guys have a great weekend. Good night.